As promised, and just before it rains, we're going to go outside, do a quick walk around before we put the bad boy in the shed. Ta-da! There it is. That is our pretty well brand new Sportsman Open 232, and it is a proper beast. We'll do a real quick walk around because it is literally about to rain, as you can see out here. Come over here and have a look. Pretty wild. So I'll just run through the basic things outside. This is one of the coolest things about this boat right here, is the section here. So you can see how they've like kind of integrated the anchor, which is pretty smart thing because we've got the electric motor up here and the electric anchor down the bottom here. So that works really well for us. What's going on up there is brilliant. Down the bottom here, you'll see very soon when we put it in the shed. That's another really cool thing because that's what allowed us to get this big boat in that. I wouldn't say it's a small shed because it's a really big shed, but yep. What we've done there is pretty smart. Spitfire Trailers did an amazing job. We'll go into a bit more detail with that later, but everything's pretty well stainless steel and alloy. Very cool. We got trim tabs both sides, and we got blue underwater lights, which are like pretty well essential because when we're out there, we'll do 3 nights on the reef, and having those guys on dusk and during the night is what allows us to catch really big squid. Definitely a good thing. Come around this way.
Let me just take my flip-flops off because I keep flip-flap, sorry.
Flip. So we opted to go with the Yamaha 250 4-stroke because that's the max horsepower for the boat, so that is it. It's been really good so far. I think we got probably around that 70 hours, 75 hours on it at the moment, and it hasn't missed a beat, so it's been really good. What did I say?
About the transducer.
Oh yeah.
So you've done the motor, and now you got to do the through-hole transducer, the Garmin.
In terms of what we did with transducer, underneath the boat we got a 1 kilowatt through-hole transducer. So I'll give you a bit. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll give you a quick look. There it is there. That 1 kilowatt transducer has meant the difference between seeing something when we're traveling at speed and not seeing it. It's been really good. The spare tyre, which is essential, and we've got our electric brakes. So everything was literally custom built by Spitfire Trailers.
Just quick shout out to Spitfire Trailers too. Just every little thing that they've done has been, and as a company to deal with, they were one of the best companies I've ever dealt with. They were Pete Spitfire Trailers down at the Gold Coast. Honestly, one of the best companies I've ever dealt with. Amazing.
All backed in snug as a bug. And now we're going to show you what we did to make it fit. So basically what Spitfire have done is they put a hinging point here. Really simple, all it is a pin. So you pull the pin out and that swings away. That's how easy it is. And Spitfire were the only ones in Australia that could do that. So if you come over here, you can see the jack stands. These two guys here, we've been putting them on either side of the A-frame. Reason being is, over a period of time, if you don't distribute that weight evenly, that frame's going to warp, especially with alloy. Steel's not too bad, but alloy kind of needs a little bit of TLC.
And that was only because of the position where they had to put the jockey wheel. So they couldn't put the jockey wheel on the drawbar at the front. They had to put it on the A-frame because we had that swing away. So that's why all the weight would be on one side of the trailer, and that's why it would bend.
That's right. So, like, it's pretty simple. All we're doing is just chucking the jacks under here. One on this side, one on the other side. And we'll take the weight off. So one goes here, one goes there. And just taking the weight off. I'll still leave a little bit of weight on this. That way everything's yeah, distribute it evenly. Just there. That's it. That's how easy it is. This is pretty bloody awesome. The other thing is, like we were saying earlier, this guy up here, he hangs out, so if you get siding with that shed, you can see it's sticking out just a little. So we've been pulling that off. It's really easy. All it is pin like that, and I'll have to get up there to pull it off, but very simple, very easy. Yeah.
Let's do that quickly.
Just there. I think the brand is Trailblazer. But yeah, that's kind of the system we got. Just help support that head, especially if you're in a bit of swell.
Like a glove.
There you go. You can see there's bugger all room. What a ripper, right? Bugger all.
So good.
Hey, you want to jump up?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Don't show them this boat. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Be for another episode.
I'll just get up there, hang on.
Phew. This is where the magic happens. How about we check the lights on, get a bit more light in here.
Sounds good.
Hang on. Righto, okay, so good. Yep. As you can see, there's no shortage of lights.
Gone are the days when we had a little headlamp up here shining down on our old little boat because we had no lights.
So there's a ton of lights on this thing, which is awesome. So how about we start in this back corner here, work our way across and kind of work our way to the front of the boat.
Okay.
Sound like play?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Alright, so right at the back we got our boarding ladder. That just folds out. That's been super convenient and handy, obviously, if you need to go for a swim or if you get lures hung up on the reef like Mary does and then Will has to jump in and go retrieve them.
Does not sound like Mary.
We've got to get back in the boat somehow. We got this handy little access tool. That's been really good too because it saves bumping the shins. This is true. In this corner here we got a little compartment. That's what we use for our litter. Basically all the rubbish ends up in there.
Yeah, that's our rubbish bin.
Yep. Got a raw water and fresh water hose, wash down hose, which is pretty handy too. We'll talk about that fresh water tank, which is under the console, very shortly. Cup holder. In this middle section, we did have like a bench seat, but we ended up replacing with the esky. Super easy if we ever want to put it back. It's just a few holes, a couple screws, and it's sweet. It's just starting to rain. Like we got the boat in, eh?
No. Oh my god, it's hammering now.
In this
That's
corner,
awesome.
This is Nomad's corner. See? Nomad design. Live bait tank.
Oh wow, is this rain going to be too loud?
No,
Oh,
it'll be alright.
stop it.
Oh, it's raining.
Wow.
Yep. In this corner, live bait tank. I can't remember how big it is.
92 litres.
92 litres, gotcha. It's got a couple lights in there too, which is handy. The other thing we use it for is... It's raining hard. The other thing we use it for is kill tank too. So everything gets necked, bled out in there. It's easy, it's convenient because you can get your hands in there and kind of wash them and wash the blood off the fish at the same time.
Which was funny because when we first got the boat, the only thing I could pick out was the lid of that because I thought it was so small.
Yeah.
And we weren't going to be able to fit fishing because we knew we were going to use this to bleed our fish because it's actually got the live well obviously flush in there, so we washed the fish off in there and put them straight in the esky. But that lid I thought was going to be way too small.
And yet, like we've literally put 15 kilo, we've put 15 kilo reds in there. So,
Right.
yeah, a little bit deceiving, but plenty of room in there.
And the other little thing that I like is that nothing slams. Like everything holds into place.
What do they call them? I think they call them friction hinges.
Even those ones.
Friction hinges. So, all that banging, slapping, all that sort of stuff is kind of eliminated.
And that's for every drawer, every box in here.
Yep.
Everything is on those little,
yeah,
friction
hinges.
Friction hinges.
That's it.
Awesome.
Okay, that's kind of the back end done. Along the sides, obviously we got rod holders. These are awesome because the rods just slip up right into the hull pretty well. So you got 3 on each side, but the rods kind of slip up right into the hull and disappear. Yeah, they've been fantastic for rod storage. We've got a gaff, and we got fish grips this side here, which have been really handy too. So Spanish, like your gaff in Spanish or wahoo, whatever. Got the gaff and those lip grips, believe it or not, big GT, big trout, any of that sort of stuff. These guys here for reviving fish are unreal. So just a bit bigger, a bit longer than your normal set of bogas, I suppose. Yeah. And then on the sides, got 2 cup holders each side, but they've been really good for, like, I don't know, if you're shifting a spot or you moving to correct your drift, you can chuck a jig in there or sinkers or whatever. So
this boat has no shortage of cup holders. It was made for beer drinkers, I swear. Like, there is so many cup holders everywhere.
Everywhere. Proper. We got another little Yeti esky that we use for our food. So this one at the back is fish. This one at the front is only food, so we keep everything separate, right? And it's on a slider. So you see here, you've got a little pin here. That pulls out and that just slides, which is awesome. Drain and Yeti are unreal for holding ice. Like, we've done 3 nighters, come back, and there's still ice on the bottom of the esky, which is just brilliant, really. Yeah, pretty handy.
So that slider Sportsman, that's a Sportsman option.
I think it is, yeah.
It is, yeah. So we didn't have to source any of that stuff ourselves or get it fitted. That come fitted with the boat.
That's it. The seat. Where do I start? This thing is like comfort galore. It's really, really good. The back of it, we got 4 rod holders. Under here, that was another option we got. It's just a few more trays, but basically all we do is we put our pliers, scissors, everything goes in a tray in here, and our leader. So all I do is sit here, or Mary or I will sit here and we'll retie everything for your bust up. This side is hooks and sinkers. So bottom bashing stuff, basically. So there's a tray that goes in here, tray that goes in there, and then hooks and sinkers. Just keeps it a bit simpler if we need to get to stuff. That's basically the short of it. What do they call these? These are combing pads, I think. Again, like, this is a hardcore fishing boat, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't really want to show you the shed side because it's a big project, and that's a pretty big deal, and that's going to be another whole episode in itself. So we're trying not to show you how awesome that area is right there, which is going to be hard. I'll come this side. But basically, you can see, everyone knows, if you've got foot room underneath and you've got the ability to lean against your combing pad, I think it's called, this guy here, just makes it really, really easy when you're fighting fish, because you can virtually tuck your feet under there if you have to, not get pulled over. That's the idea behind it anyway. But great height. The gunnels are perfect height for fighting fish. You can't beat them. A couple more rod holders each side, and then back to the middle here. You want to come over here and check this out or what? Come over here. Walk around here. So with these guys here, these seats are unreal.
Oh, you're doing the seats, sorry.
Yeah.
Get down here.
Yeah, right. Come and see. You can actually see them.
There you go.
Very cool. These guys fold up and away. This chair is like super, super sturdy. So having them both sides, so one person can be sitting down and the other person can be standing. So basically I'll have Mary, she likes to sit all the time, but sometimes when I'm driving and I need that visibility, I'll just hang in here and you can see everything. It's super handy having those.
And this is the first boat we've had where I can actually sit. It's so comfortable.
It is dead set, unreal. Yeah, very, very cool. In here, we got an isolator just in this corner. It's hooked up to 2 batteries. So we got 2 cranking batteries, but one's kind of like a housing battery, the other one's a cranking battery. And we've also got our deep cycle battery for 36 volt deep cycle for the electric motor. It's kind of on its own thing, but the way the motor's wired up is that once it hits, I think 75%, 80%, it bypasses the 2 cranking batteries and starts trickle charging the electric motor. And to be honest, what have we done? We've done 75 hours now. And that 75 hours on the battery test on the electric motor at the front, we've never gone past full power or 75% of power. We've always had all our lights on the front there. So yeah, it's been magic. It's worked really, really well.
And then at night time, we always flick over to just the one battery.
Exactly.
While we're travelling, always 2.
Yep. So once you flick over to 2, it'll charge all 3 batteries. If you flick over to 1, it'll charge 1 battery, or it'll charge the other battery. And then once you flick over to both, as such, both batteries, it'll top both batteries up, and then it bypasses to the electric motor. So Reef Marine, the ones who hooked that up, and friggin' awesome job. Good job. Yeah. I'll just shut that up.
I'm just going to get up here while you do the centre console. Just if you can go to one side. There you go. Just move over.
I'll just chuck these sounders on real quick. With this dash, obviously got the compass at the top. This steering wheel is on a tilt base, so it gives you that option to have it wherever you feel comfortable with it. If you're sitting up, standing, whatever. Digital throttle, I think they call it digital throttle. Yeah. We got our Garmin VHF. We got our sound system here. The sound system in this is freaking off its head. It is truly well. I think there's 6 speakers in it, or 8 speakers. But it's got some serious go. Anyway, up the front here on the dash, we got 2 9-inch Garmin units. They flush mounted, and I think that the MFD or MDF, where they've taken the glare off them, so when you look at it as one, it doesn't kill your eyes, or the reflection's not real crazy. This guy here is quad lock. Friggin' the best thing ever. You're always chucking your cell phone, or you're always chucking your mobile devices on the dash or whatever. It's a pain in the ass. So I'll have another mapping system set up on my phone, and I usually just lock it straight onto here. And then it's also got that charging option here, so there's a charging port in the back here, so you can charge that.
Big shout out to Quad Lock, actually. We've only just got all their gear, and we've got one in this boat, one in the other boat, and all the car accessories, and it's just on our phone cases, quick switch into all of them. It's just awesome.
They're like what they are essentially is mini RAM mounts. Like, you can't budge them. Once they're locked in, that's it. They're there for life.
And they are waterproof, and they're wireless charging as well. Huge thing.
We've got all our switches up here. We got a horn. I won't push it because it's pretty loud.
Dare.
Yeah, we've got nav lights, courtesy lights for the floor, underwater lights, squid lights at the back there. We've got our spreader lights. Got our T-top lights. Another accessory thing if we ever want to put anything else in. Another accessory switch. We've got fresh water and raw water. So the fresh water and raw water, I'll just take you back here. They're actually underneath here, kind of under this gunnel here. So we can just hook that hose onto either one of them and flick a switch, and we got fresh water or salt water if we ever want to wash down.
Yeah, we don't use the salt water, the raw water, but we use the fresh water because at night time we'll stand on the back here and have a quick shower.
Yeah, fresh water we use a lot. We got two live well switches here. One is just to pump that water, and the other one is to kind of recycle what's in there. So if you had to bung out the live well, put a plug in it, you can actually recycle what's in there. So I think that's kind of what they do with the bait fishing over in the States and that sort of thing. And probably here too, if we ever wanted to do live baiting for Spanish mackerel with fusies or something like that, that'd be the way to do it, I suppose. And then in this far corner, the bilge is obviously wired up auto. So once it gets enough water in the back there, it'll start punching water out. We found that out the other day because we had a bit of a shower when we were out there.
And a little red light comes on top of that when it automatically comes on too.
We don't really want to spit. There's no water in the back there anyway.
But that's handy feature too, because if something happens, like you hit something and then all of a sudden you're seeing that light coming on, you know you've got water underneath. I think that light is a really good feature.
Like a safety feature, really.
It is, yeah.
Anyway, up the top here we got little USB ports. You can see them. That's too close, so you'll never... Oh, good job. 12 volt socket on that side, as you can see. Pretty handy. Where do we get to?
And the other thing I found out...
We've done the radio, done the sound system.
So the other thing I found out with that sound system is that underneath here, in this corner here, there's a USB port, which I thought was like another charging station, but that's actually to put USB sticks in for your stereo, so it keeps your USB sticks out of the weather.
A bit further down, we got our trim tab switches. Pretty basic sort of setup. You got lights here that basically indicate how far your trim tabs are up or down. And you got an all up switch or all down switch, which will basically just push them one way or the other way, all the way to the top or the bottom. The cranks over here, couple cup holders, but yeah. And up the top here, we got our T-top box. Anything that you want to stay dry, camera gear, whatever, goes up the top here because no water can get in that. It's well and truly waterproof, that one. Here we got speakers, the starter speakers. Actually, we got a couple down below there too. So you got one on that side, one on that side.
And then we've got
Two
another
up
two
here,
at the front.
and then we got two up the front. So, like I said, it's a proper sort of it's more of a boom boat.
Oh,
Call it a boom box, but it's not a box, it's a boat. So it's a boom boat. It's basically this area at the back here, or in the middle, kind of done.
Excuse me.
In here, I'll give you a look at that lithium battery I was talking about. I'll just switch I got a little light switch in there, which is handy.
I'll give you the camera. For this one.
You can see in there, that's our lithium 36 volt deep cycle, and Reef Marine did an awesome job with that bracket. As you can see, that's mint, proper mint job. That's our freshwater tank, it's 60 litres, and just in here, there you go. There's our two cranking batteries. That's all the wires up there.
And I love this little feature. Just having this mesh here that keeps everything behind
Sort of hidden and concealed.
Yeah, because when we have extra jerry cans or camera bags or whatever in the center console, at least it doesn't rub up or hit against any wiring.
Yeah, pretty handy. Alright, let's...
And I'm pretty sure, not that we would ever do it, but you can actually opt for a portaloo in there. Yeah, I'm serious.
It was an option,
yeah, no.
but it wasn't an option. Yeah, and then up front here, you make your way up here.
This is the gas, the fuel.
Yeah, we obviously got another. This is actually an insulated. They call it insulated cooler, but we use it as another storage option, so it's super comfy too. Just another storage box.
That's where we put all of our camping stuff, like our little stove and...
Yeah, just anything food-wise, dry food-wise, kind of goes in there. We also got our freshwater fill point just here. So you got your tank just under there. This lock was set, I think it was 60 litres from memory, which is a fair bit. We never use more than 30 litres, so we only ever half fill it when we go out, and that's 3 nights. But it's handy because obviously you're washing up dishes or whatever after we have a feed in the night, and then we also have a shower.
Oh, nothing is better than a North Queensland 100% humidity day at the end of the day, just going off to the back of the boat and having a quick shower. Yep. It is amazing. It
is. It's really, really good. In the floor here, we got... This is where we put our first aid gear and our safety gear. So life jackets, we got a first aid bag with the EPIRB, all that sort of stuff that's in that bag. So if we run into trouble, it's really easy, just grab it and basically jump in the water.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty deep. Like, if it was your leg, you'd probably disappear.
Well, when it rains, I just jump in there.
Yeah. Good little hatch, that one. It's like a bonus compartment. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
bonus.
its storage is really good on this boat.
Yeah, we have wild storage. In here, we do have them. We got casting platforms. So one slot's in here, and then there's another one that sort of sits in there. And it's only because we're doing the walk around that we don't really have them in. Otherwise, they're kind of there all the time. So they're really handy because when you're up there and you want to get down quick and you're hooked up to a fish, you need those, you know, one big area. Is a lot safer than having that big sort of a
And these
there.
were actually a massive selling point for me because I'm pretty short, pretty unco, and I knew jumping from the gunnels down into here, I would have probably broken my neck. So these were a major selling point for me. That's really why I was really heavily looking at this boat.
No, it's awesome. It really is. Having those two levels that you can stand on. When we're like hitting the flats, having this basically from where my hand is here, the whole way around, that is one big casting area.
Yeah, let's see the
Yeah,
size.
it is truly,
Like,
yeah,
it's
there's
just
a lot of room there.
massive.
So, yeah, it's super handy having all that area there.
And when the electric motor's down too, wheel's normally on this side, so there's heaps of room there.
Heaps of casting room.
Oh, got a big fish on.
True. In here, we got what we call our tackle compartment. So we'll put our trays and kind of just split them that way, the whole way through. Plenty of room, plenty of tackle. Always take all our tackle. That's like a big thing. This side is where we put.
This is where we put
all
our sleeping bags.
Sleeping bags,
Yeah.
And like clothes or whatever other sort of stuff we need to take with us. Clears too, because we got clears. Obviously, we didn't say it earlier, but we got windshield and we got what they call gull wings. So waiting on winter, because once winter comes, the gull wings will go down. That'll cut out any cold wind for Mary. Doesn't bother me, but Mary's a big fan of no wind.
Mary's not a fan of cold weather.
Yep, plenty of storage in these two guys. We do have like padding that goes the whole way around here as well.
Oh yeah, we've got cushions for all of it.
Over here we got an up down for the electric anchor winch, I suppose, if you want to call it that. And in here is the electric winch itself. So there's the motor. That's all on the chain. There's that sort of concealed anchor that we were talking about earlier on, which is brilliant because that just locks in there. And obviously we always take a spare. I've got a reef anchor there in case we ever get rubbed off in bad weather or whatever.
Clip.
Yep, I've just got the safety clip, but that is just, it's bloody awesome.
The thing that was surprising for me about this was how fast it retreats.
Yeah.
It's really fast to bring up, which I wasn't expecting that.
It's kind of like got extra gear in it. But yeah, that's magic. That is, I can't talk highly enough about what they've done here. That is just awesome. Where to now? Oh, we can do the T-top, I suppose. There's not much to talk about the T-top though, other than the fact that it's super sturdy, and we got rocket launcher at the back there too for the rods. So yeah, all up, I'd say pretty freaking happy with the boat. I can tell you right now, we would do it all over again. You're pretty happy with it?
There's been not a regret. A day of regret since we bought this boat. Yeah. This has been a complete game changer for us.
It is. And every time we venture out, we get a bit more confident, feel a bit safer, and it's going to allow us to do some pretty freaking awesome stuff. Like, this is stuff I dreamed about as a kid. Like, we're going to be able to push the limits, basically, and go to places that not many other people are ever going to be able to get to. So we're very, very grateful. We don't take anything for granted. And all we do is we look forward to each day that comes and having the opportunity to get out wide when we can. So 10 out of 10. 10
we're
out
very
of 10. Close to it.
So for everybody in Australia that's watching this, Reef Marine were our local dealers that now stock these. They weren't originally when we started looking at the Sportsman, just to be very honest with everyone. We got hold of Mick from Cast Mag, who was absolutely fantastic. We had a big chat on the phone with Mick about the Sportsman boats, and he put us onto Cam, that was the only person importing them at the time. And then as we were going through the process, Reef Marine became a stockist of them, and then he handed over our boat deal to Reef Marine. And Reef Marine here in Mackay, I cannot speak more highly of. They were so good to deal with. Everything was neat. Everything was just.
We've had a very good experience with taking ownership of this boat too. So it's one of those things where you get bad feels or good feels with certain things, and this one's been unreal. Yeah,
huge shout out to Andrew and Dave at Reef Marine. They were amazing.
Looks bang on, Andrew. Yeah, man, it looks pretty good.
Love you guys. Thank you for all your support, and we're looking super forward to 2023. Very, very excited.
This is our boat.
This is our boat.